There is one word that when you say it, whether you're talking to a girl or whether you're talking to a boss at work or anyone in which you want to boost your social status, will do it instantaneously. It's probably not what you think, and today we're going to talk about it.
All right, I want you to watch this next conversation, and in your mind, try to pick out if there's anything that stands out to you. How's the conversation going? Is there anything that I should have done differently? Is she excited to be in the conversation? Is she kind of aloof or pulling back? Note in your brain everything that you think is going on, and I'll tell you what actually was going on at the end of it.
So you're saying moving out to LA. What's taking you out there again?
Yes, so I actually have a ton of friends there now, luckily.
Oh, yeah.
I have a few clients here and there, and I'm going to be signing with LA Models.
Woo!
Yes.
I've heard of it. It's a big name.
Yes, big
Nice.
name. I'm super blessed. So I ended up having to call them, and actually talking to them on the phone got me in the door.
Wow. So you called them and you're like, this is so-and-so, and they're like, who?
Yeah, they were like literally ready to hang up on me. And I'm like, no, wait. Like, look at my stuff. I really think we would work good together. And they're like, okay.
So what did you think? What did you see? See, I think that is a good example of just a very easy, free-flowing conversation. Let's go back and watch it again, and I'll point out exactly what I see as we watch.
So you're saying moving out to LA. What's taking you out there again?
Yes, so I actually have a ton of
Okay,
friends
see,
there
she's
now,
engaged.
luckily.
Like the way she says yes, the way she's using her body language, you can see she's into the conversation. She's smiling. She's looking at me in the eyes to see how I'm responding to what she's saying.
Having to call them.
And you can see when she says something, she pauses to be sure that I'm engaged and I'm in the conversation.
This is so-and-so, and they're like, who?
Yeah, they were like literally ready to hang up on me. I'm like, no.
Very
wait.
animated when she's talking. So she's into the conversation. So in my mind right now, I'm just thinking, how can I keep this conversation flowing? Everything is going fine. There's nothing really to change. Very easy. That conversation looked easy because it was easy. She was engaged from the very start. There was no battle of frames. There was no aloofness that I had to deal with. But now, in the next clip, I want you to watch because she's going to start off by being a little bit aloof, not nearly as engaged. You'll see she's not smiling as much. Her body language isn't as into it. And notice what I do to increase her engagement. Notice what I do to increase my social status, to reestablish the interaction equilibrium, to let her know that her aloofness, the fact that she's not into it, isn't okay. I have higher value than she assigned me previously, and then watch how that changes, and then we'll go back and dissect exactly what happened.
So you said you're moving out to LA. What's taking you out there again?
Yeah, I have quite a few friends there now, and I'm
Okay.
so sick of the Austin work vibe for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm signing with LA Models, so.
Wow,
yeah.
that's a big name. I recognize them. I don't know many.
Yeah. I submitted like 4 times, and I never got anything back, so I called.
Okay.
And they were like, oh, yeah, okay, bye. And I was like, no, wait, like, please let
I
me
love that
talk.
part. They're like, okay, bye.
Yeah, I know. And it worked.
They pulled you up and they're like,
Yeah.
we're going to sign you on the spot.
Yeah, well, not on the spot, but they wanted to meet and all of that, so
Okay.
it worked.
Dude, that's cool. It sounds like a
Yeah.
great opportunity.
Yeah.
All right, so besides me calling her dude, what did I do in that video? Well, you could see from the first couple sentences that she said, she really wasn't hugely into it. It wasn't like she was disengaged, but if you are in an instance where someone is disengaged or just clearly not that excited to be talking to you, let's say you're at a party or you're out and they're just kind of like talking to you like, if anyone else is more interesting to be talking, I'd rather be talking to them. You can feel that, and you can see she was kind of dead those first few sentences. So what did I do? Well, in the first video, I'm giving normal check-in. Oh yeah, really neat. That's cool. But what I'm doing to reestablish the interaction equilibrium and to up my social value versus hers is I'm just saying, okay, with the tone of voice going up. What does that communicate? What does that sound like to you? It sounds like a boss that's getting a briefing or a military sergeant who's getting briefed on something. Sergeant, we're going down the hill. We're going at this much speed. Okay. So you're almost like you're saying, okay, you're giving them permission to go on. You're approving what they're saying. Maybe a teacher talking to a student. Oh, the reason I'm late to class is because, okay, you're listening to the story. It's a very authoritative way to check in with a conversation. A check-in in a conversation is simply something to say to show that you're active listening. So by doing this, I'm communicating, I'm not super impressed. I'm not going to be like, oh, how neat, how cool, because I need to reestablish the interaction equilibrium and reassert my social value. So watch what happens. After I say okay a couple times, and she can tell that I'm not going to fill that space. She said something, she kind of pauses. I'm like, okay. and I just kind of look at her expecting her to say something and to fill that void. She does, and she also does it with a new pizzazz and a new energy, indicating that she has just upped my social value in her head. Oh, maybe this guy is worth trying a little bit harder. I'm going to be a little more animated. Maybe I'm around a higher value guy than I want. She lights up a little bit, and look at the way the conversation goes from there. Let's watch it again, and I'll break down what actually happens.
So you said you're moving out to LA.
Very unexpressive face and hands, aloof body language. What do I say?
I'm
Okay.
so sick of the Austin
Okay.
work vibe for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm signing with LA Models. so-
There,
Wow,
what'd she
that's a good
do?
name.
Just
I recognize that. I
completely
don't know
got
the name.
excited.
Yeah.
Oriented to me, shoulders went up. Now her hands are moving, looking me in the eye much
And
more.
they're like, oh,
Much more moving the head, animated with the hands, telling a story. Like, she's engaged in telling the story now. She's interested in the way that I perceive the
They
story.
pulled you up and they're like, we're going to sign you.
Smiling much
well,
more,
that was
more
fun.
engaged.
And all of that.
It's just, it's a total switch.
That's cool. It sounds like a great
And so then, as she comes to life and expresses more, expresses that she's holding me in a higher social value, I'm able to contribute there at the end and just check into like more normal things. Like, oh, that's really cool. That's exciting. It's a great opportunity. So when you say things like that, you're only going to use them until the interaction equilibrium is tilted back into your favor, or you can tell the person talking to you doesn't think you're a chump anymore. It's easy to tell when people can tell they think they're around a chump. That's when the interaction equilibrium is against you, and this is just one way you can tilt that back. Now, what else did you notice when I was talking, when I was trying to bring that back towards my way and assert my social value? You notice my delivery, my tonality, the way you're saying okay, the way you're talking to them. Even if you don't want to use the word okay like is coached in this specific video, you can simply change your tonality to sound, to give off in the sound that you make and the way that you express the words and the way that you verbalize the words and the tonality you use. You can create that same thing. Now, if tonality is something that you don't completely understand, you can click up here in the upper right-hand corner and download my free power tonality checklist. And this is going to go through 5 things that you're probably not aware of that will make you aware of these things when you go into an important interaction. Maybe it's an interview, or maybe you just have a meeting that's very important. You need to be sure you sound your best and be sure that you can establish your social value in that situation. Go through these beforehand, and they'll get you a nice understanding of what you need to do and get them fresh in your head. So when you go in there, a lot of times situations where you don't have much social value, you're very nervous and you're flustered and you're not thinking well. But when you can have these on the forefront of your mind and drill them and practice them a little bit beforehand, it enables you to go in there strong and use that proper tonality when you're talking to someone who may see you as a little bit lower social value than them. We can never allow that. So you can click up here in the right-hand corner and download yours now.